This channel uploaded less than 30 videos and somehow crossed 18 million views and over 100,000 subscribers in under 6 months. No face, no real footage, not even real videos. So how is this even possible? Here's what makes it shocking. Every single upload on this channel is made entirely with AI, images instead of footage, big captions, simple narration. That's it, and it's not a one-off. When you look deeper, you'll find multiple channels doing the exact same thing, all pulling massive views with minimal production effort, which tells us something important. This isn't luck. This is demand. Most people think YouTube's success requires expensive editing, constant filming, or years of experience. But these channels break all of those assumptions. They don't rely on personality. They don't rely on storytelling skills. They rely on structure, and that structure is repeatable. In this video, we're not guessing. We're going to rebuild this exact type of channel from scratch, step by step. How the channel is created, how the videos are planned, how the content is produced using free AI tools, and how everything is optimized before upload. No shortcuts, no theory, just a clear process you can follow. Let's start at the very beginning. Step 1. Creating the channel foundation. The first step is not making a video. It's creating a channel that actually looks trustworthy. Most people rush this part, but these fast-growing AI channels don't. They keep everything simple and niche-focused. The channel name is neutral, story-driven, and flexible. Nothing personal, nothing flashy. It's designed to grow with the content, not around a creator. The description is short and clear. It explains what the viewer will get, not who you are. No long backstory, no promises, just relevance. This matters more than people think, because YouTube reads these signals when deciding who to show your content to. A clean setup tells the algorithm exactly what your channel is about from day one. Step 2. Finding ideas that are already working. This is where most beginners waste weeks. They try to come up with unique ideas from scratch. But the channels growing fastest aren't guessing. They study what's already getting views. Instead of asking, "What should I upload?" they ask a better question. What is already performing well in this niche, and why? They look at which videos keep getting views, which topics repeat across channels, which formats clearly hold attention. When multiple channels succeed using similar formats, that's not copying, that's validation. It means the audience already exists. Your job isn't to invent demand. Your job is to serve it better. Why this approach works? This process removes uncertainty. You're not hoping a video works. You're not relying on creativity alone. You're using patterns that the platform has already rewarded. That's why channels using this method can grow quickly, even with AI images, simple narration, minimal editing. Because YouTube doesn't rank effort, it ranks viewer response. Now that the channel is set up and the ideas are validated, the next step is turning one of those ideas into a script that actually holds attention. And this is where most people still get it wrong, even when they copy the right topic. Step 3. Turning ideas into a script that holds attention. This is where most people lose viewers. They take a good idea and turn it into a boring explanation. The channels that grow fast don't do that. They don't write scripts to inform. They write scripts to pull the viewer forward. Every script follows a simple internal logic. Open a loop, add context, delay the payoff, then move to the next idea. It's not about using complex words or sounding smart. It's about rhythm, short sentences, clear progression, and just enough curiosity that the viewer wants the next line. That's why even simple topics keep people watching longer than expected. The information isn't new, the structure is what makes it feel new. Step 4. Using AI. The right way, not the lazy way. AI doesn't replace thinking. It accelerates execution. The mistake beginners make is letting AI decide everything. The channels that succeed use AI differently. They give it direction. They use it to reorganize ideas, tighten wording, turn raw information into a clear storyline. But the human decision stays the same. What the video is about, what the viewer should feel, and why they should stay. That's why these videos don't feel random. They feel intentional. And once the script is clear, everything else becomes easier. Why simple scripts outperform complex ones. Here's something most people don't expect. The simpler the script, the broader the audience. These AI image channels aren't trying to impress experts. They're designed so anyone can understand the story without effort. That lowers friction. And lower friction means longer watch time, better recommendations, more consistent growth. Complexity doesn't create retention. Clarity does. Once the script is locked, the rest of the process becomes mechanical. Narration, images, assembly. But there's one part that decides whether the video looks professional or instantly forgettable. Step 5. Turning a script into a finished video. Once the script is finalized, everything becomes execution. This is where many people expect complexity, but these channels thrive on simplicity. They don't rely on fast cuts or cinematic visuals. They rely on alignment. Every part of the video exists to support the narration. The visuals don't try to impress. They try to match the moment. That's why still images work so well here. When the story's clear, motion becomes optional. And when the pacing is right, the viewer doesn't notice how simple the visuals actually are. They're focused on what comes next. Why this style avoids copyright issues. One of the biggest fears people have is copyright. But these channels aren't walking on a thin line. They're safe because the content is clearly transformative. The narration explains. The captions reinforce. The visuals support. Nothing is reused as is. The value comes from interpretation, not footage. That distinction matters because YouTube rewards original presentation, not originality of topic. And when everything is built around explanation and context, the risk drops significantly. Step 6. Captions and pacing. The silent retention boost. Captions play a bigger role than most people realize. They aren't just for accessibility. They guide attention. Large, clear captions keep the viewer anchored, especially during slower moments. They reinforce key ideas without repeating them out loud. And when captions appear one idea at a time, the video feels more dynamic, even when the visuals stay simple. This is one of the reasons these channels perform well across different age groups and viewing habits. Step 7. Before you upload, where most people lose. Creating the video is only half the job. Before upload, successful channels focus on positioning. The title doesn't explain everything. It creates curiosity. The description doesn't sell. It clarifies. And the tags aren't random. They're aligned with what the video actually delivers. This step doesn't make a bad video good, but it can stop a good video from being ignored. Why this system scales? The reason this approach works isn't speed, it's repeatability. Once the process is clear, ideas become faster, scripts become easier, production becomes predictable. That's how channels upload consistently without burning out. Not because they're lazy, but because friction has been removed. Now there's one last question. If this process is so straightforward, why doesn't everyone succeed with it? That answer is what separates channels that stall from channels that compound. At this point, the process sounds simple, and that's exactly why most people fail with it. They underestimate what actually matters. The biggest failure point isn't tools. It isn't AI. It isn't competition. It's patience. Most channels don't fail. They're abandoned. People upload a few videos, watch the numbers stay flat, and assume something is broken. But YouTube doesn't test one video. It tests patterns. It needs time to understand who the content is for, who stays watching, and who clicks when it's recommended. That only happens through consistency. Another reason people fail is expectation. They expect every video to perform. That's not how this works. Some videos are data points, some are experiments. A few become breakout hits. The channels that grow aren't the ones with perfect videos. They're the ones that keep uploading long enough for YouTube to find the right audience. And then there's focus. A lot of creators change direction too fast. New niche, new format, new idea. But the channels you saw earlier didn't win by jumping around. They repeated what worked and refined it. Same structure, same audience, same promise. That consistency builds momentum quietly until it suddenly looks like overnight success. This type of channel doesn't work because it's AI. It works because it removes friction. No camera, no personality pressure, no complex production, just ideas, structure, and execution. That's why it appeals to beginners and still works for experienced creators. And that's why, even with simple tools, some channels grow faster than expected. Not because they're lucky, because they're consistent. If you've watched this far, you now understand how these channels are built, why they work, and where most people go wrong. Whether you use this exact approach or not, the principle stays the same. Clarity beats complexity. Structure beats guessing, and consistency beats talent. Thanks for watching.